Okay, take a look at the sheet in front of you. And Dalton, can you start reading the top, please?
Analyze Robin's reasoning in her answer to the test question about rational or irrational numbers. Does she have a deep understanding of rational and irrational numbers? Does her reasoning make sense? If not, what misconceptions does she have about this topic? Write her a letter using the rest of this sheet and back if needed, explaining her misconceptions and explain how she can get the correct answer.
Okay, so we're going to look at does her reasoning make sense? So what happens for me as a teacher is there's a lot of times where when I'm grading tests, I see students typing because they kind of understand, but they don't really quite get it. They just are trying to remember and they say things that get mixed up. So I'm going to call that fuzzy thinking. So sometimes our fuzzy thinking can be right, it just doesn't show a true deep understanding. So I've pulled some fuzzy thinking out of her response, and you're going to need to say, is her fuzzy thinking always correct in math, sometimes, or never, and then explain why you chose always, sometimes, or never. So let's look at how she answered this question. Okay, so the question says, is the square root of 130 rational or irrational? Where would the square root of 130 be located on a number line? Explain your reasoning. So that was the test question. You might see something similar on Thursday's test. Okay, this is what Robin wrote. She said, the square root of 130 is a rational number because 130 is even. All rational numbers are even and irrational numbers are odd when the numbers are under the square root sign. The square root sign is the opposite of squaring a number. Squaring a number is the same as raising it to the second power. So, to find the value of a number under the square root sign, you divide it by 2. So, 130 divided by 2 is 65. The answer is 65. So when she puts it on a number line, she wants to put it on the 65. Okay, so here are 4 things that was her thinking through this paragraph that I pulled out. The first one, rational numbers are even numbers under the square root sign. Always, sometimes, or never. And then tell me why. Not now. Number 2, the square root sign is the opposite of squaring a number. Is that always true in math? Sometimes, never. Tell me why. When finding the square root, just divide the number inside the square root by 2. And then you'll have your answer. Always, sometimes, never. And she's saying the square root of 130 is 65. Always, sometimes, or never. Okay? So go ahead and pick always, a sometimes, or a never. And then tell me why you chose what you did. You can do it on this sheet if you would like, or in your daily math books. It's up to you. You can kind of make a chart like this. You can make a chart if you want.
My daily math books.